Okay guys, today's video we're going to get the 30 horsepower lower unit together, sealed up, and put the water pump on, and we're going to finish it, get it ready to, basically ready for maybe like not a sandblasting, but a power washing. So we're going to finish the lower unit up today, and we're going to move on to carburation and ignition after that. Let's get to it. So we had to make some modifications due to the sticking of the bolts. In the housing itself, I drilled through, this is where the original hole was, but my tap was crooked. So I put some steel weld in there, you know, the putty stuff, just to seal up that hole because I need this enclosure sealed for the pump. And then this hole is new. And I had to drill through the housing and drill through. There's a hole there originally, like there's a hole back here originally, but the original, you know, only has the 3. 1, 2, and 3. So I had to modify that. So I'll have to plug that hole, this one here. I'll have to plug that. And then the problem is my new mounting hole is right through where the water goes up the tube. So when we put my screw in, I'll have to seal that tight. Either thread sealant, locker, and then I'll put underneath, and in the bottom I'll put some gasket material. And that's what we're going to have to run with. In addition, I had to mark a hole and drill a new hole through my plate. It's not ideal. It is what it is. We'll see if this thing pumps water. So in addition to all of that, we'll make sure we put some sealant around everything. We'll seal this with the black stuff. We'll hit it with the sealant here. The plate will go on that. Then we'll put the black sealant on here. Install a water pump with my new pump. And we'll throw thread locker, not thread locker, but like thread sealant on the threads for the bolt. And then we'll add this RTV sealant to the bolt itself where it sits. This way what'll happen is this will be sealed, so the water is going to go past it. It's going to go in this channel here, and the bolt will be here. It won't be blocked. The bolt won't be blocking the water flow. It will restrict it, but it won't block it. So as long as we keep the water in this channel by sealing up this, it should work. Fingers are crossed. But this is what happens when you get it. It's that, or I find a new lower unit. So I can probably find another lower unit on a parts motor if I dig one up, and if I see one, I'll buy it and I'll pick it up. But I probably won't. So this is what our fix is going to be for now. We'll add by adding a thin layer to all of this. Any surface the plate's going to touch to, I want this on there. But I don't want it bleeding into the channels of where the water flows. Let's add this to our housing. Normally I'd be making this pretty thin, but I kind of want a little bit more than normal. I don't want to get it on the inside, which I'm doing. Don't get it on the inside. Of course, it's on every finger I got. You don't want the sealant where the water pump's gonna run. Just take my screwdriver and clean up this hole here. Okay, we can install our drive shaft. I'll find out why the drive shaft won't look down. Stuck on my pinion gear for whatever reason. Let's see. Yeah, that just I think there was some goop or something blocking it. Okay, take 2. Reinstalling the drive shaft. What's happening? Thank you. Okay. Alright, drive shaft is being stubborn. Install your keyway. Put your new pump on. I don't use Vaseline, I don't use things. You're not going to damage nothing. But to each person own. To each his own. Use grease if you want to use grease. I don't. Add your water pump over the pump. Make sure we're in position here because I want this in one shot. You want to make sure that it goes on straight and seals the first time. Plus, being a new drill, a new hole point, you know, the holes might not line up so perfectly on the first try. So we're just kind of getting it started first. Okay. Oh, you know what? Actually, that should stop the plate from spinning too. Spin and push. That's it. She's in. Water pump's in. Now, while we're hopefully straight, we'll just kind of lock this down a little bit. And we're screwing in good there. Very worried about these lining up. Not much clearance, not much in the way. This one's a little tight, but I don't think I'm cross-threading anything. I had to also, drilling that plate didn't really line up, so that's why it's a little tough. It's got to go through the plate and it's got to go through the bottom. This bolt here and this hole here, water's going to come out of that because it's in the middle of the water channel. So we're going to tighten these down and then we're going to seal it up. Kind of acting like a rubber gasket in all essence. So if the next owner takes it apart, just know this was the best option. If it doesn't pump water, I wouldn't sell it. So ideally there'd be 4, but the original mounting only had 3, so I just moved mine over a little bit. It should be fine. And you always have the problem that this could pop up, but I highly doubt it. Nothing's binding. We're good. Now we want to seal this hole up here. And I don't think the pressure would be high enough to take that out. Worst case scenario is I always throw some more steel weld there and cover the hole up permanently. But for now, we'll use sealant. I'm going to do the bottom and the top. Okay, nobody else see that, so there's no use making it pretty. If it doesn't work, we'll find a way to fix it. All right, so water pump's in. Now we can finish resealing and get this lower unit back together. I'm going to spray this with a little WD so that it goes through the shift shaft seal easier. Because the shift shaft seal is in tight and I don't want to rip it. There she goes. WD, wonder, it's a wonder. Okay, next question is, okay, what direction does this go? Obviously not like that, so it goes this way. Oh, they make it nice and easy for you. Not that you can see what's going on. They make it nice and easy for you. Obviously, it doesn't spin the other way. Okay. Hooray. Hooray beer. Remember that commercial? Hooray beer. Race, bearing, gear, thrust washer, clutch dog, gear, thrust washer, gear. There's also metal oilers in the middle. Okay, then it's this piece, this brass with the lines. There's two lines. Line, and it goes through the other. That goes facing the back. And then this spring clip. Then the roller bearing. Then the seal. After the bearing, we got the seal. You can see the open end of the seal's on facing that way. The rubber O-ring faces out. The rubber insert for the seal faces the in towards the oil. And then the seal's got a hole in it, and that will line up with the thing. And then this thing with the hole, with the line, make sure the lines are facing the back. There's a line. All right, and then the tabs go up and down. I made that mistake the first time. Okay, and then in our case, you'll see it's got this thin line up top. Thin line there, that's where your snap ring goes. This big open gap here is where that thing with the lines, the brass pieces, the tabs are going to go up and down. It does not fit in that hole. I thought it would, side to side. See there's two grooves here? I thought side to side, so the tabs would be side to side. That's not true. They actually go up and down, and it'll sit more forward. And I'm going to show you. So let's slip her on in. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Snap ring's the hardest part because it just kind of rests there. Is in, snap ring is out of place. I guess it's a little tricky holding everything. We'll edit most of this. It's easier with the shift rod out. Okay. Everything just naturally wants to come out. Okay, can you see that? Good. Let's see. So again, this goes up and down. Snap ring's gonna slide. Now we can push down on the shifter a little bit and push everything back to where it's gonna sit. The snap ring's gotta fit in that section. All right, there we go. The snap ring's in its spot. Tabs up and down. And then that seal hole, we just got to line up with the tab on the thing. And you rotate this so the gears, there we go. Rotate so that the gears fall in line with the pinion gear. This tab thing will go up and down, and then your snap ring, you just kind of push into place and it'll stay there. Hold everything tight. Oh, I missed the hole. Oh, okay, I missed it. So there was a spacing there. The tab, I missed the tab. So the hole is on the bottom. And we're just going to have to lift it back up. Push the seal flush. There we go. And then find the hole again. Okay, now everything's tight. See if something don't look right. See, it kind of like wobbles, which is fine. That's probably why it popped out to begin with. Keep it flat. And it's flat. And then once you pop the skag on, skag, it will stay. It does look like there's some spacing in between there that isn't right, but it must be right. Now, the only difference here is I just didn't put the RTV sealant here, and I should have. Now, don't forget your clutch cradle. It's so easy to forget one stupid piece, and then you gotta take the thing apart. Don't forget your clutch cradle. That goes in. Okay, and that's how the assembled carrier is. We will now put the spaghetti seal in using the 3M, like the 10 horsepower, which I just posted. The millions of other videos. I'm trying to figure out a happy medium between watching you guys. You don't want to see the same shit over and over again. We are going to get on the water. All right, that is coming. It's been a rainy month in New Jersey. Temperatures are 20 degrees below normal. They were in the 50s, supposed to be 70s around here, around this time, middle of May. So I haven't gotten out as much as I have every intention of doing. Okay, we got our spaghetti seal. And what we can do is kind of check for fit too. Shouldn't have to force this on. Never force it with the screws. Rest it on top. Everything's tight. and fits down perfectly. Very, very nice. Very nice. Anybody miss Borat? This stuff is nasty. The 3M stuff it's just nasty. And I don't put a lot. Like, I'm not trying to fill the whole channel. I just want to get enough in there, because otherwise it will web and go crazy. I'm actually more interested in the tips there, where the tips lay. I don't want this stuff on the flat part. I'd rather keep it in the channel if possible. That's where I really want it to hold those ends in. I don't want it on the flat part, because then it's just a mess. Especially if you miss, you got to pull it back up. That's it. I'm gonna put the cap on that. It's never cut to fit. I mean, you have to cut it to fit it. And don't forget, if you put too much too, you squeeze the spaghetti, it'll seal in, then it all comes out. It's just everywhere. So unnecessary. But it works, you know. But you just don't want to overdo it, especially that 3M stuff is nasty. Okay. Spaghetti seal's really close to fitting in this application. I think that's what they just did. They just packaged it to fit the bigger ones. And we're like, okay, they can cut all the smaller ones. Alright, and this piece is out a little bit. And just let it stick out that little bit. Of course, it doesn't want to cut it. That's why I like the ends to get more in there. Look, I can't even wipe it off my gloves. It sticks to the phone. It's so annoying. It won't stay in there. Like I see, and it just tacks like immediately. I'm trying to get it so that that little piece is hanging out like I want. And then I'm going to snip the other end. I'm not going to snip it right at the end. I'm going to leave a little bit off. Not too much. You don't want it popping out, but you want it. There we go. Good. Okay, once the spaghetti seal's kind of resting like that, get your sealant. And all around. Yeah, nothing crazy. It's a little thicker than I'd like to, but again, I'm rushing the project. I want to get it done. I just messed with that. I didn't want to. Lost my cap per usual. Okay, check this, still in place. Everything looks excellent. Didn't forget anything. Pieces are in. And oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, we're just gonna rest it on. It should rest right on there. Check to make sure my spaghetti still didn't pop out. It did not. And I just kind of want to hold it there for now until we get our bolts. First, we're going to work on it. Comes with a gasket. Make sure you don't forget that either. Here's our pivot pin. This screw, which is really worn out. That's a problem. I remember saying I'll need a new screw. A couple screws in just to hold it in place, just so that the seals don't. Well, you know what? A couple of reasons. One is to make sure we squish down on that gasket stuff. I'm gonna check our parts bin and see if I can find another pivot screw. So I got it. So I got the pivot pin in there resting. I can't wrench it down because I stripped the crap out of it. So we're gonna just leave everything as is till we find a replacement. Every YouTuber's biggest fail is you record a segment that never recorded. So here is the finished lower unit. All the bolts are on. We did find out that that pivot pin just disappeared. is universal. That pivot pin came out of a 7.5. So luckily they kept the hardware the same. So I have a ton of those, obviously. I have a ton of lower units. That's the Sea King. That's the other one. So lower unit's complete. Water pump is ready. This lower unit, with the addition of the prop, is ready to go in the 30 horse. Next step is carburation. So I got a quick video. We're going to do ignition and carburetor because we didn't do ignition. Tell me about that later. Thanks for checking me out, guys. We're going to get the 30 horsepower and the 10 horsepower going in the bucket. Get to Round Valley, get on the water. Sub up. Let's get to 1,000. Appreciate y'all as always.